conversation roll like it needs to roll. First of all, I want to say something about what we just went through with Facebook. Now, a lot of people, business-wise, have counted on Facebook for a long, long time, but they have changed everything in 2024. Their algorithm has changed. The ability to post in there has changed. They're flagging you for things that should not be flagged for. It's become very oppressive. And we just found out that they no longer they don't even let you post a StreamYard link.
Crazy.
But it was in a private chat. I think that's
I know.
me. Like, wait a minute. I could see if I was posting it on the page, in the group, anywhere. But I created that chat so that we could communicate. So it is really oppressive that they are doing this. And it makes me wonder, okay, so what's going to be the next platform? Because this one's thinking. I think it's thinking. I mean, it might be, and I'm a TikToker anyway. I subconsciously, I left Facebook last year and I went over to TikTok, and I love TikTok. Not for any of the reasons that they always claim, with the dancing and all that, but it's just that when you post something, you get almost immediate satisfaction because it's either going to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So in a few minutes, like, do I got a good post or a bad post? Because they'll let you know.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm still getting a feel for TikTok. Instagram, I can't figure that. I mean, for the life of me, it's like, that's a whole nother topic. But Instagram is Facebook, right?
It's the same thing.
Right. They own, right. So since 2020, meaning the Mary Kay world, when we were in a pandemic, and most of us are in the tri-state area in New York, where we were like on serious lockdown, we had to come up with a way. We couldn't go into the homes. We couldn't do what we were normally used to doing. So, I mean, the whole Mary Kay world, but us we were really like dealing with deaths every day, and it was just insane. So with that being said, we were like, okay, we got to figure these podiums, right? Like this different mediums, all this social media, all these things, that people were kind of dipping and dabbing in, but not really diving into it, especially if it's those of us who are in a home-based business and a skill-based business, touch, feel, smell for years. So we learned StreamYard. That's why you see I'm here with the background. This is so. We use StreamYard, and then from StreamYard, Facebook was very friendly to say, "Hey, you could stream into Facebook, right?" And then Facebook said, "Oh, now we're going to open up and allow you from Zoom." So now we didn't have to use StreamYard. We kept StreamYard. My partner did, and I did it from the Zoom. I mean, from the Zoom. So we were streaming into one of our group pages, and when we started getting the announcements that that we no longer were going to be able to stream, blah, blah, we started preparing, but we didn't prepare enough. But you know what? I don't even think that it was we preparing, because even tonight, even here that I'm here now, my partner's waiting for me. We were going to do something on Facebook where I would join her on Facebook, kind of like a stream, and the feature is not working.
Wow.
So it's like, and I bring this all up to say, so if you don't want meaning Facebook, right, doesn't want us to use these StreamYards and Zooms to stream in, then what's going on with their streaming?
There's something definitely wrong with Facebook. And one of the things that I got a notice personally from Facebook that told me that my Adrienne OBHQ would not be able to post events or something to that effect, which I didn't even post it on Adrienne OBHQ. I just posted, which is my headquarters. I posted it in a Women of Vision, but basically they're saying they're restricting my ability to even advertise the event because I didn't host that event on Facebook for a reason because of the streaming, right?
Right.
And they
Right.
got upset because I still was able to have a successful event. This is
Right.
how oppressive they are. So this is one of the reasons why I've been telling everyone to get on that email list for BWP promotions because I don't even know if I'll be able to present our next event on Facebook without them saying it's spam or it goes against some TOS. It's actually really oppressive. It's gotten out of hand to the point where I don't see I'm starting to not see the value in them any longer. And that's sad because they were once the leading platform.
And
Um,
great. Hmm.
and great, yeah. The best I do for Facebook, I think, is that when I post on Facebook, it goes automatically to Instagram, and then all the hits and likes and stuff come from Instagram. That's what I think happens.
Right. Right.
Because I got like, I guess it was like 2 months ago, I had this great run and it seemed like whatever I was posting was getting like a million hits. I got one video that almost has a 3 million views, one that's almost got 2 million, another one that's got about a million, and I just had another one that from around the same time, but it got over 600,000, and I'm like, okay, so I must have went through a really good moment in time, but
Uh-huh.
the fact is, I think most of that might have came out of Instagram because I was co-share. When I post to Facebook, it goes to Instagram.
Right.
I
Right.
don't
So it was
believe-
right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
I don't really know what's going on with Facebook.
I don't think anyone does. Um, and that's the scary part. And then, you know, during that whole period, the YouTube thing, I have a YouTube account, and then
Mm,
it was just like, why? Like,
mm.
and then it was just like, well, I'm over here with Facebook. I have an Instagram. Why is YouTube? And I was just like, okay, I can't. I just, it's just, I mean, if this is what people are doing, I get it, and I totally, I am impressed,
Ah,
and I admire. Um, but if this is not your thing,
yeah,
and you're just trying to survive, and when I say survive, I mean be present and use the platform
yeah,
because you're in business, but
yeah.
this is not where you're relying on. Oh my God, it's just it's insane.
I
And
got
then
I got a
mhm,
YouTube as well, and I love YouTube, but it is a whole different world than Facebook or Instagram. Yeah,
mhm,
completely different. Completely.
mhm, mhm. That's what I mean. And I didn't have the patience or the energy to try to. I was like, my Facebook isn't even where it should be. So, and I forget about my Instagram. That's no, I'm like, I'm not even at 10,000. Why am I over here trying to do? So I was just like,
Yeah,
oh God, I,
they always
it's,
tell people to concentrate on one or two platforms because it is easy to get lost.
mm-hmm,
I actually am on all the platforms, but I can say that I built each platform individually and separately. So I
got you.
started like my YouTube, I think in 2015, 2016. I was already on Facebook. It's like slowly, little by little. And but I couldn't imagine just trying to jump in and do each one and start them up at one time because that would devastating. Um, and I was on LinkedIn. I'm actually upset that I only have like 11,000 followers on LinkedIn because I got on LinkedIn when it was still just on like a Google sheet. Like there was just a Google sheet of people
Right,
because I was a
right,
recruiter and it was like for recruiters in the beginning. And
right.
it's amazing to me when I see how far LinkedIn has come because it was just a place for recruiters to try to get some candidates. And now it's like, in my opinion, the best platform for business.
That's what I'm hearing.
Hmm.
That's what I'm hearing. And I'm just like, oh God, I get like because like you said, like old school, you're thinking that the old school because my account I must have opened it in I don't even know 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even I can't even tell. I get emails from I'm like people are actually still looking at my profile. Like why? It's like, what is happening? I don't even, I don't, yeah.
I think it
I
was
mean,
2006, and I think that's the year they opened. I was
or
literally
maybe,
there amongst the first of the first of the first. There couldn't have been more than 200
wow.
people there when I, because there was like a list, and you could see the list. It was like a Google sheet. It wasn't even a real website. That's how
Right.
early on I got into LinkedIn. But
Wow.
I'm amazed at how far they've come because I was an executive recruiter at that time for RJ and McKay, and I had to recruit around the country. So it was, it was important to be on that list. But
Uh-huh.
now there's like a billion people on LinkedIn, all business. It's just incredible. That's probably my favorite platform.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So I want to talk about Mary Kay because you are a Mary Kay consultant.
Oh,
And I got a story to tell you, and I have not told you yet, but I'm going to tell you now. I used to be a number one Mary Kay consultant. I was Miss Go Give, and I got a letter from Mary Kay. I got to meet Danton. I got to walk on stage. I did it all.
wow. I remember. You did tell me. You didn't tell me all of that.
Alaska. Yeah. And that was back in the like 91, 92, 93. And it
Wow.
wasn't even internet. And we were all like, when I tell my Alaska story, I have cried telling that story because there was like one day I remember I was dirt poor. First of all, I had no car
Oh my
and I
gosh.
had these damn pink boxes. And I lived on one side of town and I had to get on the other side of town where the military bases were. So I had to take several buses. The snow was up, I swear, to my
God.
waist, Michelle. Now I got to the party.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, when I got to that party, bless that girl, she had her 5 girls there. We held that party. All 5 of those girls had 5 parties for me. One
Oh
of
my
those girls
gosh.
ended up being the manager of a Key Bank. She had me do the entire first floor of Key Bank. And back then,
Wow.
making $3,000, and the party was huge,
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I did that several times. I had like all my parties were 1,500, 3,000, and I got my car, I got my red jacket, I had my team, my director got her pink
Wow.
Cadillac. Like it was amazing. It was just a beautiful run. And to this day, I applaud every woman, every woman that is freaking Mary Kay, because that Mary Kay got me off of welfare. I was a single mother on welfare with a little baby, and I never had to go on welfare ever again in my life. I love
Wow.
Kay.
Wow. 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 The confidence and what you learn. I tell people all the time, I am a third time, a third chance in Mary Kay. So I was in Mary Kay in the early 90s. Um, and I worked on Wall Street, and I didn't see too many men. I mean, too many
Mm,
women.
mm,
Um, and I definitely didn't see too many people of color.
mhm,
Um, that that were there. You
mhm.
know, it was just wasn't in the night. It just wasn't
It
happening. It
wasn't.
still isn't. It's still not happening because I have done some work with Goldman Sachs throughout the years. And every time I go there, I'm like, oh, it hasn't changed much. Even though Goldman Sachs is of a whole nother class of many of the other Merrill Lynch and Lehman, and all of them,
Mhm.
those brokerage homes, it was always like, oh my God, Goldman Sachs? You got into go. But needless to say, my point is, when I joined Mary Kay, it was just like, oh my God, all these women are successful. So I was just like so amazed because I'm working on Wall Street with all these, you know, old white men. And it was just like, what? You know? And I mean, I was totally impressed. I was like, wow. But I was young and I was just like, all right, I have too many other things to do, like go to all the amazing clubs and parties that at the time,
Young
Sean
girl.
was
Yeah.
giving. Sean and Jessica. Sean, which is P. Diddy,
Yeah.
and Jessica was his partner who were giving all the parties in the
Oh,
90s. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I could tell you so many stories. So I was like, okay. So I didn't do anything with Mary Kay. And then when I got laid off, I came back into Mary Kay from 96 to 99. all the
Mm,
great things, went to seminar, like you said, to go give, and saw the stage and all of that amazing stuff that
mm,
takes place. I was just like, oh my God, that stage was like, I always wanted to be on stage, acting behind the screen. This, I was just like, I found the company.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I found the company for real. And then life happened,
yeah.
and 2002, third time, came back.
Wow.
So it was just like, if I keep coming back, I'm meant to be here, right? So I was just like,
Yeah,
this is the third time. I'm not, if I don't make it, I'm not doing this again. So
yeah.
I made myself, I said, anything else that I do is part time. Just like how I meet a lot of women and they're like, oh, I'm going to do Mary Kay. Or a lot of the Salesforce members in Mary Kay are part time Mary Kay. They have a full time job. I'm the
Mm,
opposite. Some of the part time things that I do, like I said, going into Goldman Sachs, or um, substitute teaching in the
oh,
New York
wow.
City school system, the largest in the nation.
Oh, yeah.
All of those things are very part time, and because I have Mary Kay as my full time gig, I can do other things. I can do it.
Wow.
Um,
The
but
freedom it gives
the
is
flexibility, yes, yes, the freedom, the flexibility,
mhm.
absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
Um, But what I've learned, 2 weeks ago, I went to a summit in the
Mhm,
city, and the woman who was giving the summit was from Connecticut, and she was not Connecticut. I'm sorry, Canada.
mm, mhm.
So a lot of the attendees flew in to New York City from Canada.
Wow.
And the summit was amazing. It was really a lot of heavy hitter psychologists and everything, just really empowering, and all those different workshops, about characteristics and
Mhm.
skills and all the things, kind of like this, but in person,
Yeah.
sitting in a forum from Friday to Saturday. Um, because her background was beauty, she was a
Mhm.
makeup artist by profession, in California and LA and New York. Um, she, had us, Mary Kay, over here, and had a makeup company over there.
Wow.
Um, uh, but my point is that sitting and listening and watching, what I've observed is that women are still looking for a place to feel comfortable, safe, where they can come and be open and learn and be
Mm,
empowered and enriched and
yes,
given the tools and the information to
yes,
be greater or better at whatever it is that they want, right?
yes,
So that is a real thing. It's still in 2024 is a real thing. So I was sitting here and I'm going, wow, this is still going on. If people think that this is dead, you know, here we are, right? You
yeah,
put this together, and I was like, yeah, this is still happening, right?
yeah.
So yeah, women are still yearning to be connected and learn,
It's
which is
so
a
weird.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's so weird that you're saying that because, as you know, I'm an admin at Black Women Promote, but my daughter said to me on several occasions, Mom, why do you do that? It's not like a paid position or anything. And there is like this feeling of camaraderie that I get. Like when I can get something to go, like we just did, where we're interconnected and we're doing something toward one goal. It feels so good to have
Yeah,
a positive experience with the other women. And that's just something you don't often get normally. So to me, I live for that. And it's probably, you're right, it's probably my basis in Mary Kay, that feeling of being in a team of working together toward one common goal. I just want to see more of our women in the groups, to get on that track, because so many women nowadays, especially if they have not been in Mary Kay, don't know how to work in unison together.
correct,
Oh my
correct,
gosh, it's
correct.
a problem, and just getting them to see, like, no, it's going to be a positive experience. It'll uplift you. It's even hard for them to see it because either they've been disappointed or they've never experienced it before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, all we can do is we can give a place for those who are willing and would like
Yeah,
to join and learn. and the other thing is feel safe, because a safe place. There's a lot of different um, organizations and things popping up. And this has been going on forever. This is nothing new. We're humans, so it's been going on since the beginning of time. Um, but a safe place, that transparency, that place that you feel like you're safe. You look to the left, you look to the right, and you go, okay, I can like pour out to these women, because just like what you just said, like-minded, but not just like-minded, you feel safe,
Yeah.
safe. Like these women have my back, my front, my side. We may, and sometimes it's not always about us being on the same team,
Hmm.
but we are rooting for each other and
Yeah.
supporting each other. Does that make sense?
It does. You're making me miss it. I miss that feeling. I miss those moments of being in the groups, and when we all get up there and we win our different pins and our shiny diamonds, and I miss that. I One of the things I loved about Mary Kay is that they always had events and reasons for women to get dressed up and look pretty.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that.
This is true.
It's a beautiful thing.
Beauty, it's a beauty company. How could it not, right?
Right.
And people just think, oh, the pink Cadillac. And, I love when people, they put their nose up to us a lot of times, and they're like, oh, yeah, little Mary Kay. And I'm like, do you have no idea the diamonds and just like what you said, like what they pour out, and they allow us to be these, dress up and walk a red carpet and stand on stage and pick up diamonds and just get in a limo. I mean, I have consultants, not really I have, but I hear the stories. Um, Consultants who have never been in a limo,
Yes.
or people that never been in a limo. Like, I'm like, you never been in a limo? Like, didn't you go to your prom? You know, but, you have to remember not everybody,
I Mary Kay,
demographics, right?
Mary Kay might have been my first limo ride too.
See, that's what I'm saying, demographics, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it goes back again, safe. You know, in this day and age, I think we're looking for safe, like safety, like a place that you feel safe. I keep saying that because I look around and there's so much animosity and hate and,
Yes.
jealousy and
Ah,
all of that. It's so ridiculous. Um, Again, I understand we're human. Again, I understand, we're women. Um, but if we could just get over that, you know, and it's not to say that there's times that I look at my best girl, I call my BFF and Mary Kay. We're not like, she's not on my team and I'm not on her team. We come from the same area, so we have built our businesses together for years. But there's times I look over and I'm like, girl, I'm not in my pink Cadillac, but you're in your pink Cadillac still. That's just, I mean, that's human, right? That's being
oh,
a human.
God.
But it's never like, oh, I like to sabotage her or put her down or, you
Hey,
know, it's, uh,
I don't know where that came from. That does seem people nowadays. I just saw something on YouTube last night, and it was
uh-huh,
three girls that got killed live on like
uh-huh,
streaming, like Facebook or TikTok. And I'm
uh-huh.
like, first of all, why are these women dying? But why do people feel that they have a right to take someone else's life? These were all beautiful girls. And I don't know when this started. I forget the young girl, but remember the girl that went down to Mexico and her friends killed her? This is getting so out of hand, especially amongst our own
Oh, yeah, she
people.
went with her girlfriends,
She went
so-called girlfriends.
by
Yeah.
their neighbors. They took her down. She took them. She paid their way
Oh
down
my
to
God.
Mexico, and they
Oh my.
killed her down there. I mean, I'll never, that's something, it breaks my heart, but it is a problem, and it is amongst women of color, because these were
Yeah.
all women of color.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it got to this point, and I don't know how we fix it, but I do feel a certain sense of responsibility as an admin of these female groups. to encourage collaboration, to encourage working together and accepting each other, and to get to know one another. And
Correct.
jealousy has no place in business. We can't get a. Can you imagine if all you did was just be jealous? You never make partnerships or get any kind of deals done. I mean, it's insanity.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
sad
Right.
times.
Right. So when are we gonna have a big summit in person?
I would love that. I wanted to try and see how we did it online. I think we did
uh-huh.
good this time. I think maybe we could try something. We had one of the girls who used to be our admin, um, Shantae, I forget her last name, but she had tried this in, I want to say it was Ohio. And the one
Mhm.
thing or Michigan, one of those, somewhere in there. And one thing I remember her saying was it was exhausting. It was very exhausting. So I know that unless I'm going to do something where we're just going to chill out somewhere, like maybe on the island or something, I'm not really willing to do anything that's going to make me lose a lot of energy and not feel refreshed at the end. That's the most
Gotcha.
important point for me in getting any kind of thing together, is that we are refreshed and we are um, able to transform ourselves and be in a better place than when we started. So that might take a little money and time and planning, but I would love to do it if we could. I would maybe go somewhere nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've my partner, um, and then she's actually connect. She's my offspring director. She's been with me for 18 years, and she finally crossed over and became a director. I'm so
Wow.
happy, so proud of her. We've been trying to work with a lot of travel agents out
Mm,
there, or women that are in the home-based traveling industry, and say, why don't we collab? Like, you
mhm,
have the platform to travel, get someone who's been planning,
mhm.
um, admit, people who have a lot of followers or know a lot of people, and pull that together. Um, come to a place like I can find some places in New York. Everything is expensive. You're absolutely right. But you want to go to, like, if I could bring them to, if like, let's just say if we bring them to New York City,
Mhm.
right? It may not be an island, because sometimes certain places there's a distraction. Because
Yeah.
I've done quite a few of these for many years,
Yeah.
but you have to know, if there, it's things could be a distraction.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to an island, it has to be a resort, like where they
Mhm.
can't leave the resort. Otherwise, you're gonna lose them. They're just gonna be
Mm,
here,
all
there,
over
and
the
everywhere.
place.
You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you have, like somewhere in the city, like how this woman came from Connecticut, like down here, and 2 days, Friday evening, meet and greet, and then Saturday, all day workshops and, you know, whatever, hands on, whatever you were
Mhm,
doing. I
mhm.
think it would be great, because then that evening, like, women could say, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna go." I mean, in New York, you just go down a block and you're at a party, or you go down the street, you're at a pub, or you go across, walk 2 blocks up. There's so many places to go, so
Yeah.
it's not like they have to, like, search for something. They're just gonna stumble into something. Um, um, well, I hope we could brainstorm that, and I hope people could put their input in if they would like to have something in person.
I
Like,
think
who
that's such
wants
a
to
great
have?
idea. And
Who would like?
I'm on the other side of of I we call this Emerald City where I'm at. I'm in Seattle. So you're in the Big Apple, I'm in Emerald City, and it's similar here. There's always something to do in Emerald City. Um, but I've never thought about doing anything like that where we're actually in person doing something in, maybe a 2 or 3 day thing, like, or over the weekend, a Friday, Saturday. But that's such a great idea. That is such a
It's
great idea.
it's amazing. And then once a year, one of the biggest radio stations here in New York City, WBLS,
Oh, yeah.
black owned. Yeah, okay, there you go. WBLS,
I'm
black
from
owned.
Jersey, girl. You're talking to a Jersey girl.
Yes, I forgot now. Everything is everywhere. We're in that age. Okay, so it's their 50th anniversary, but And Trip, I went to her. We did her retreat, um, 2 years in a row.
Mm,
And again, you go to a hotel, and you have a two. Well, that was from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there
mm,
was like a bus. They bussed a lot of people from New York into New Jersey. But needless to say, the point is, it was amazing, empowering.
wow.
They had different workshops. They had different things to do. We did hand treatments and all kinds of treatments. It was amazing. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. That's
Um,
fun.
mhm. So it's happening. There, people, and again, women are looking for this because that
Wow.
was in May and June so
Mhm,
far
mm.
of the two I just named, WBLS, and then the one with the woman from Connecticut. Yeah,
So
retreat.
two different
And,
events.
hmm
One of the
hmm
things I remember that Mary Kay had said back in the day was, you know, she went through the Great Depression, and during that time, no matter how poor a woman was, she still wanted to get her lipstick.
Absolutely,
And that is so true. That is so true.
absolutely,
Even to this
absolutely,
day.
absolutely, absolutely. And women always want to. There's so many different sayings that Mary Kay, the founder, said. Like one of the things, um, make make someone in front of you. Make like they have a sign that says "Make me feel important." Right,
Mm, hmm.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Second thing that I love, a quote that she would always say is that women never want to be told that they are getting old or they look old.
Oh, right, right. No.
Right?
Yep.
And what you just said about the lipstick.
Yeah,
They're gonna, yeah, their last penny to get
you
that
know,
lipstick.
it's funny, all those teachings of Mary Kay, I still have my Mary Kay books. And the thing that I remember the most was the
Mhm.
empowerment, because one of the first things she teaches is to get yourself a maid to clean up for you so that you don't have to do it yourself any longer and you can spend
Ab-
time in your business. And that was
Absolutely.
a big step for me when I was first in Mary Kay, because you're going from welfare and suddenly, you're hiring someone to do work for you. And I think it was all about the empowerment, making
Wow.
making sure that you felt that you were a boss. And it's
Right.
tricky that so many women don't get to feel that in whatever it is they're doing, but it's one of the first steps she instills in us as Mary Kay rep, is to feel that
Absolutely.
sense of empowerment. It's
They
amazing.
now we now say she was the original influencer.
Absolutely. Oh, can you imagine being the first to go around with those little pink boxes knocking on people's doors like that? What a great person that she was, to have the confidence in herself to, just to go up to strangers and change their lives in that way. Beautiful.
Right. Yeah. 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 So I hope that everyone that's watching, we're more than just makeup and skincare. We are about enriching women's lives. That's our mission statement. Um, the makeup and the skincare is the vehicle to
Mhm.
whatever it is that you want. And I'm in hope that we can we can definitely pull this off and have more summits and more retreats and whatever you want to call them. But it's really just gathering of
Yeah.
like-minded women and collaborations and you know getting together in one space like this right here. I thank you so much for putting this together. And
Yeah.
that's why I said yes. I think I wanted to be a part of it last year, but timing wasn't good. And then all of us working out the technology thing. I was like, ah. But this year I was like, no, I got to be part of this because this is important.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
important. So I thank you.
I thank you. I am so grateful I got a chance to get to know you, what you do, your work that you're doing in New York. And your talks were so beautiful, Michelle. And
Oh,
you're
thank
you're
you.
such a motivator. Like the winner, that one was one of them was so cute. Your messages really put a smile on my face. And
Uh,
I just think that is so important. Whatever that is, that fire in you, it comes across.
Thank you. Well, Capricorns, you're a Capricorn, right?
I'm a Capricorn too. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes. Ambitious women. That's it. It's supposed to be the most ambitious of all the women. And you know what's so funny? I had saw the post you made about the blonde. Do you know the only reason I'm blonde today is because of Mary Kay?
Really?
Yes. There was a guy that used to be a Mary Kay a makeup artist, and I
Uh-huh.
got to win a chance to meet with him through a Mary Kay contest. At the time, I had like that auburn number 30 in the wigs. I was wearing auburn, and he was like, "No, no, no, it's all wrong. You either go all black or go blonde. He's like, when you get older, you should be gray and pile all your hair on your head." And he's like, "Until then, go blonde." And then I started easing blonde into my hair. That was like 1993.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I never realized what he meant until I did try to go dark black. And whenever I go black, they always, like strangers will tell me I look like Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh.
I've never
Wow.
figured, I think it might be my skin tone just goes not that, like I think it's kind of stark when I have the black hair. So I did go blonde. Because I'm getting gray too now. But yeah, it works. You know what I mean? I don't have to hide it so much. But it was all because of Danton. It was all because of a Mary Kay thing that I won, and we got to meet with him and walk across the stage, and he did our makeup on stage and did our coloring and our all these different things. And I still remember what an honor it was. Um, he was someone who did like all these professional stars and things like that. So
Wow.
it was amazing.
Um, was it Robert? Robert. He
No,
had a book.
his name was, he went by Danton. I still remember that because it was big back then, Danton. But he passed away, I would say about 10 years ago because I remember hearing about it. But
Wow.
he was big at that time. And the funny thing is too, Michelle, I got recruited by a man. It was the craziest experience. He was a guy who went to my church, and his wife was helping him, but he was the Mary Kay consultant. It's
Wow.
crazy. And this guy
Wow.
tried to recruit me for like about 6 months, and I just wasn't taking him seriously. And one day I was like, okay, I'll go to your stupid thing, whatever it was. And I got
Uh,
there was a room of women, and it was just like you said, it was the friendship, and it was the positivity and all the things they were giving away. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a part of this. I want to win things. I want to get all those fancy um, jewelry and stuff like that. And within a week, he had me recruited.
wow.
Yeah, that's how I got.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of men Mary Kay today because that was years ago, and I think it was just them dabbling in it. But men don't realize you could be a Mary Kay consultant too. So, we always think about women, but it's
absolutely.
both actually.
Yeah, it's whomever.
Yeah.
Whomever wants it. We had was it last year or 2 years ago, our first male national sales director.
Oh my gosh! So there are still
Yes,
men doing it. I have
yes,
heard about
yes.
that. How far did that go with the men?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, our first male. I think he's from Colombia.
Wow.
He's through Patricia. He's all part of Patricia's line. Patricia Turker. We knew her as Patricia Rodriguez.
Wow.
She's from Long Island, New York, and she's number one in Mary Kay right now as we speak.
Wow.
Yeah, it's watching someone like wow, seeing them, remembering them when they were young, building the business, and now they're like poof,
It's taken
majorly
it that far.
out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
part of me always wonders what would have happened if I had stayed in Mary Kay. And I don't know how I got pulled away. Life pulls you away.
life, life.
And, but
Yeah.
it's still the best memories of my life. Like I felt so accomplished when I was in Mary Kay. It was a great, great, great feeling. I want to ask you, because I noticed we're coming up on 40 minutes. If you had to say anything to anyone who was considering Mary Kay in 2024, what would you tell them, Michelle?
I would tell them, try it. You will never know unless you try. It's no longer a one size fits all. We now have different options to starting. We all start at the same place, but the starter kit has changed. So it's now
Mm.
$35 to start. You
Wow.
can add on sample package onto
Wow.
that $35 for 45, or you can get the $100 starter kit like we've always had
Wow.
for the longest, the big starter. You know, when I say the old, you see, I carried both of them, like the pink starter kit from 1991. No,
Yes.
but the starter kit that has all the stuff for 30 faces for a
Wow.
party. So you have choices now on how you want to start your business. And I think that is simply amazing because, again, what the pandemic taught us is the $35 starter kits. Somebody could start a business with just a website, a consultant number, right? And then
That's
take it from
amazing.
there.
That's
Hmm.
amazing. Because
Hmm.
when I started, if you didn't have that $180, you weren't going to get to do nothing. You needed that 180.
Absolutely.
And that was how I pitched it. Got 180. I never went down under 180. And
Yep.
because it was always about getting that 180 in, right? You had to get that
Hmm.
180 in every 3 months. And I
Yes.
feel like the fact that they have changed that and made it more accessible, that's beautiful. Like it opens the door to so many people who may not have the ability to start with, $200 like that.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
So yeah, now it has you have an option, three different options to start, and then of course you talk inventory, but that there's so many ways now again on how you can get your inventory. So the 180 back in the day, it was $100 to start, and
Right.
then your inventory you couldn't go below 180.
I
I
need,
remember it because it was 180. You're right.
I
That
need,
kept you active as an active consultant. You
right.
could not go below every 3 months, right?
Right. I
Now it's
couldn't
only
unless
now
I
it's
knew
only
I was getting 180.
225. Now
Yeah,
it's only 225. It hasn't and it's
crazy.
not like it went like to this crazy number. It's
Yeah,
still affordable, 225.
yeah, that's amazing.
Like you can't sell 225
And you
every
forget
3 months.
235 and
Like what?
225. That means you can get them for 250.
Correct.
You're done for 250. That's
Right. You're starting. You're starting up. And again, now we have virtual, we have hybrid where we do virtual and in person. You prop up your screen and the people that are all over the world freaking can stream in and watch what you're doing while some people are in person. Big screen. Now the meetings, our meetings where we used to have to schlep everything to the meeting place. I actually I'm missing it. I am missing it every week, but we do it on Zoom.
mm, mhm,
Um, and we try to do once a week in person.
mhm,
I'm sorry, once a month in person, but that
mhm.
goes back to what you were saying about everything being expensive, right?
Right, right.
Um, but the point that I'm trying to make is that this platform, a platform like this, has allowed Mary Kay to expand and do things that we could not never do in 1990. Everything was
Definitely.
kitchen table around the
Definitely.
living room, you know. Now it's like around the screen. However, um, perfumes and actual color, lipstick color, can't really be caught other than in person.
I got to tell you something, Michelle. One of the things I miss, oh, I loved, was it had gotten to a point where, like I said, I was the number one Mary Kay consultant in Anchorage, Alaska at that time, and that's why I won all that stuff. But what I loved was that people began to know it, and I would do things like have these crazy open houses where, like, maybe I would have like beach balls in the house and fake sand or
Mhm.
whatever, or I would
Theme parties.
and do like wedding parties. Like I would do the entire wedding party right there at my kitchen table.
Yes.
Or I
Yes.
just remember people coming to me just to get like, okay, I know you got something on sale. And it was crazy, the camaraderie, the fact that women that I barely knew felt that they could come to my house, and they knew they were either going to be able to get their face done, or they were going to come away with some makeup or perfume or look pretty. And I
Right.
loved that. I love that interaction of just taking care of my girlfriends that way. I just loved that. It
The
was
community, right?
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not just a number. When you work at a store or a department store, or even when you have a storefront, you hire some people to work at a storefront. They come in. You're just a number. When it's when someone lets you into their home or they come to your home, it becomes friends. It becomes personal, right?
Definitely.
Goes back to that letting their guard down, that being safe. I keep going to that word. I don't know why. Today, safe, that safety, like, oh my gosh, I'm with these women. I feel safe right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So I think that's important,
And
you know?
it's weird just saying the word safe because I never felt in jeopardy or in danger at any of my Mary Kay parties. Isn't that funny? Going to complete strangers I didn't know across the city that I never met, and I never felt at ease or unsafe. They always welcomed me, as long as I came in as a Mary Kay professional, and they treated me as a Mary Kay professional. And I respect that even to this day, that Mary Kay is an amazing company.
Hmm.
People just respect Mary Kay consultants usually. So
Faith first, family second, career third. I mean, let me tell you, I've walked into some situations where I'm looking left, looking right. I'm like, God, please be with me, because I'm walking into this building and it doesn't look. I mean, I could tell you some funny stories, man. Um, not just me, my consultants. It just, you're in New York, so it's not
yeah,
always, you pull up to this house and this pretty little. It's some sketchy situations, and then you're like, oh. Okay, meet me in the hallway in the back alley and we'll do the business back. You're like, what?
wow,
It's
yeah,
yeah,
doing
yeah,
Mary Kay in New York City has got to be an entirely
it's
whole
insane,
new level. Yeah, my
insane,
gosh.
insane. I'm like, okay, you'll call them before you confirm. So is it a walk up or do you have an elevator in your building? Because the days I'm now not a young chicken, so I don't tell them that, but in my head I'm saying I can't walk up with a bag on my shoulder like I used
Yeah,
to, uh, 5 flights of stairs. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, it's definitely, it's different. And even when we go to seminar and we're listening to some of the things, and we're like, girl, that is not going to work where we live. But we'll listen, but that's not going to work.
that's gonna work.
It's not going to work.
I love the fact that you said that you're the girl from Long Island was the number one Mary Kay person, because I
Yes,
remember when I was in Mary Kay, for some reason the number one girls were always in some place like Montana or Idaho.
you're
Or,
right. And we used to go, how the heck? Like,
how?
how? We could not understand it. And now the coastal areas and city, the number one for 8 years was Gloria Mayfield Banks from Maryland.
Oh wow.
And I mean, she rocked the Mary Kay world. She was actually the first ever black number one
Wow.
national ever in the history.
Wow.
And she held that title for 8 years. And then Patricia was number two. And
Mm,
so, Patricia is a Latina,
mm,
so from New York originally. Now she lives in Florida. I think she has dual residency.
mm,
Um, and then we have Lapita out in California, a
mhm.
Mexican American, um, number one in our seminar, but
Wow.
I think like number seven. So it's just it's definitely has changed. Um, yeah, yeah,
The opportunity was always there for women of color. It's just that
yeah.
I don't know if we took advantage or saw our opportunity until maybe later on. But it, like I said, it changed my life. It was almost instant. As long as you have the that get up and go and that go give spirit that Mary Kay talks about, you could
Mhm.
really literally achieve anything.
Anything.
Really
It's
could.
true. It's
I
so true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just amazing because when I'm talking about the 90s back then, making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month back in the 90s, man, it changed everything. It literally changed my life. And at that time, I had won the car, but I was getting the payments instead of the car because I had a little kid. And they were sending me like $600 a month just for that, the car
Right.
payment. I,
Right. You can take the car. Yeah. They
oh my
still
God.
can. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Just
love Mary
cash.
Kay. Just one of the best companies. I only got good vibes when I think about Mary Kay. Oh my
Oh,
God.
that's so great to hear. Well, Mary Kay will open as long as you did all the right things. You are always welcome to come back to Mary Kay. That's one thing that I love about Mary Kay. And I always tell people all the time, I'm a third chancer. So I totally understand. Doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. So, and anybody that's out there watching, come join us. Come join us. Not just Mary Kay, come join us, right?
Yes. Now, is there a particular website you would like to send people to that, or is it just
Yes.
too long? Or
So you can go to Mary Kay, www.marykay.com, but you're going to backslash M Cobin, Cobin, my first initial M, Cobin number one.
okay,
And that is my personal website.
so N Coben one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
M
That's my
Coben.
website. Hmm.
Okay, you guys, you heard it here. The place to go is to M Coben one. That's www.marykay.com
Yep.
slash M Coben one. Okay, because
Backslash.
this is our girl. This is our Mary Kay girl for our Women of Vision spring event, and we are pumping her up tonight. Okay.
Wow.
So, Michelle, it has been such a pleasure and so much fun talking to you. I just love everything that you've done, and I am wishing you the best of luck in Mary Kay and in everything. And we're going to get together and do something for the women in our group. We're going to do something.
Absolutely. I will come out there to Washington. Are you close to Seattle?
I'm in Seattle, girl.
So Emerald is close to, they call it.
Well, no, Seattle is the Emerald City. Just like New York
Oh,
is
so
the Big Apple,
got you.
Seattle is Emerald City. Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh, got it, got it, got it.
right.
Well, I would love to come. Love to come. We could do it there. I'm listen, plane ride away. Let's make it happen. I feel Florida's great, but it's like, oh, Florida, everybody in Miami. Okay, something somewhere different. I mean, even New York. People could say, you're in New York. We can go somewhere different. Listen, wherever. It's what we're doing. It's the vibe, right?
Yeah, you can come check out the Space Needle and our hot pot. We got the best. Yeah, we got a lot of great things here in Seattle where people love to come and visit. So definitely, we'll plan something. We'll plan something.
Absolutely.
So this has been such a pleasure. I want to thank everybody who has been listening in. Thank you, Michelle, for being so accepting of me and my timing today because I wasn't feeling that well. And we will talk again inside the groups and get more attention onto what you're doing and onto your Mary Kay business.
Thank you.
So let's put up the music. I love to party on out. We'll put on this music and we'll just jam ourselves right on out of here. Much love, much
Okay.
light, many blessings.